Hey guys, this is Brandon and Goose. We're doing our first inaugural video where we're doing a dual commentary on a game that we're both watching at the same time. So we're both going to do some analysis and call the game as we see it as it goes. So, yeah, Goose, say hey.
Hey, what's up?
So tell them that we're ready to go here. We've got our first game with Alex Velarde versus Andrew122GM. So you can tell them we're ready. Yep, there they go. Alright, so Alex is playing white, and let's see what opening we get.
Hasn't he been playing a lot of different openings lately? He's been experimenting.
Yeah, he's been experimenting. I've played him a couple times, and he was throwing the King's Indian at me and the Dutch at me and all this stuff. So, let's see what he gets. Go, guys, go! This is our first time, and they've been nice, and they were nice enough to volunteer to be our first subject. So, we got the birds from Alex.
This stuff.
Classical birds so far. Let's see if we get a polar bear. Okay, a little bit different from Andrew there. That's not mainline. Okay, so we get the polar bear. It's a reverse Leningrad Dutch. Usually black plays d5 and c5 just to gain space in the center. So
that's a quick challenge to the center.
Yeah, I think he's just hoping to trade off f pawns there. It's kind of like the c3 Sicilian. Yeah. So f pawns have been traded. Essentially, is what happened there.
White's gonna need to challenge the center.
What's that?
White's gonna need to challenge the center soon.
Yeah.
He's got all kinds of control.
Yeah. So let's see. Maybe he's playing d4 here. Right now, there's no pawns in the center for white. So we'll see what happens. Some development. King out of the way, of course, because of the check. That move comes in a lot in the polar bear system because of f4. You can get the bishop developed with tempo. Oh, he's playing it like a standard, like Henrik Danielson would. He's playing this like a reverse Leningrad Dutch. I told him to play c3, d4, and e4 as soon as possible is the idea, just to get rid of the weakness on e4, which is a little bit of a backwards pawn right now.
I'm liking black's position right now. He's more developed than white, I would say, except not that move.
You don't like that move?
I guess it's okay, but he's gonna have to worry about trading off that knight, and he might be able to open up the g file.
Yeah. Okay. So black's trying to get some control of the light squares. Okay, he played e4. Did he count? Did he do the math correctly? Yeah, he can afford to play e4 here. Might even consider taking with the knight if d takes e just to hit that bishop and not have that isolated e pawn. All right, so
the weak light squares are on the king now, which is good for black.
Yep. Black's going to try to play on, or should try to play on, the weak light squares. Okay, so this now weakens black's light squares also.
Yeah, it's not as bad because neither side has a light squared bishop.
Yeah, but I mean, if I was white, I would be looking to play on.
Actually, yeah,
G6.
White was forced to trade there.
Was he?
Yeah, or he lost a piece.
Yeah, that's right, because the bishop doesn't have e3, huh?
Yeah, he can't go back to h4 because of g5.
Right.
So something like knight h4 might be good here.
Knight h4, offering a rook trade?
Yeah. And then after the exchange, and if he brings a rook to the f file, he can play like queen e2, and then re-challenge it with his a1 rook.
What do you think black should do in the center here? Exchange? Just keep the tension?
He definitely doesn't want to push d4 because the correct response would be c4, and he blocks in his own bishop.
That's true.
I don't even like the exchange either because then he would go down and exchange if he took the e pawn.
I don't know about this move. It's taking the knight off of the central square, off of the influence of the center. I guess the only square it's covering now is d4. He's hitting the bishop, but that bishop is on a nice diagonal, and you can just go back to c6 and stay on that nice diagonal, pointing right at the king. The knight's a little bit out of play there. Who is it? I can't remember if it's Spassky. I think it was Spassky who was famous for saying like a knight on g6 or b6, or conversely b3 or g3 doesn't sit well. Oh, he chooses to get it off that diagonal. Okay.
Yeah, I think moving it back to b6 or maybe even d6 would be okay. But
yeah, I would have played to b6, but
yeah, b6 is better.
okay. So now there's
Lots of stuff going on. He drops a pawn, or does he?
Who drops a pawn?
Well, black can play. He can take the e4 pawn right now, and then if he recaptures, he can play something. Yeah.
He does. Okay.
So
but he could probably pile on that pawn with something like knight to d2, and then rook to e1. How's he really gonna defend it in the long run? So, but that was probably a miscalculation by Alex. So I think probably the best is knight to d2 here, right?
knight to d2.
I mean, where else is that knight going?
He could capture on e5.
Oh, that's what he chooses to do. But now he's going to have a weak pawn. Well, I guess they both have weak pawns to attack now.
Probably exchange knights now.
Well, that you just got to watch out for his queen. Andrew's queen is unprotected, so he's either going to have to trade queens after the knight exchange or move it. So we shall see. I don't know. I think the queen should be, out along maybe the a2 to. Oh, okay. Yeah, he has to exchange queens here because that rook is on pre. Oh, okay. Well, he decided not to take.
That's an interesting move.
All right. So if bishop takes, now pawn takes, the queens have to be exchanged because the bishop's on pre. Yep. That's correct.
But Andrew does come out up a pawn there, so I'm not sure if that was great.
And it's a pass pawn.
Actually, it can be challenged right now with rook e1.
Yeah, and it can't be protected. That's right.
But he doesn't see it.
Doesn't see it. Okay.
Okay, yeah, now he's going to defend it. He's going to move the bishop either to d6 or f6 now.
Alex has to get his knight back into play. That knight is just doing nothing over there.
I would not make that move, Andrew. He wants to put his pawns on light squares now.
Yeah, this position is too. There's definitely an advantage for Andrew here, but he's a little lower on time. I would pin. Oh.
I would push that pawn.
Yeah, you got to push the pass pawn, but he's got to have to bring his rook behind the pawn also. Okay, just getting the rook protected. There you go. Finally, that move's coming in a few moves too late, but it's the correct move. Maybe knight to g3, attacking the pawn.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if trade pieces, then the king can come in and probably win the pawn back. And then it's just maybe a drawn ending. He's going to have to bring his king in.
g5 and kick it back.
Yeah. That's bad news for white here. He's just got to push this pawn.
Put the rook on e3, and it's looking kind of drawish.
Yeah, that's a good point. He should blockade. I don't know why he's not blockading. No, you're not going to get a pass pawn over here. In order to create a pass pawn, you need a pawn majority on one side or another. Wow.
Okay, now black's definitely winning.
Now it's, yeah.
He just has to bring the king to like b3 to c2. Something like that.
Can he get a blockade? Nope. Yeah, d3, c2, attack the rook. Yeah, this is a one endgame, but time's a little bit of a factor here. So what's going to happen? Yeah, I think now the problem for white is that his king is pretty much shut out. He's got really nowhere help.
Wow. I guess he thought it was resignable.
I guess he figured that that game was lost endgame. So, good game. I hope you guys enjoyed that, and we'll see you next time.